This video is going to focus on a specific advanced mate, the cam mate. For this, you can see that I have the cam that I created in a previous video attached right here to an overall apparatus that's really just getting a readout of how high it's going at any given point for my cam. We're going to kind of play with a couple things here, but that is really all that we're going to do. We're going to set it up so that this follower for my cam right here is going to be attached to the surface of my cam such that it follows it perfectly. With that, you see that currently I do have all the mates in for this other than this cam follower mate that I need right here. So there are a couple ways to approach this. If we go ahead and click on the two surfaces initially, you'll see that we can actually use a tangent mate. And when I use that mate, it is going to follow fairly nicely. This is a little bit more likely to break and not necessarily as useful. It helps in this case that I have two curved edges going together and I don't have anything really crazy going on with the cam, so that I don't have any breakages there. But this isn't necessarily the best way to do it. SolidWorks actually has a built-in way to do that. And instead of using the tangent mate, we're going to go ahead and select the same two surfaces. And we're going to go into our mechanical mates. Any second now. There we go. And mechanical mates was right up here. And we're going to go ahead and select our cam mate. And again, it's just we have to select one piece that is our follower and one piece that is our cam. You saw that it automatically understood which was which there. But now when I rotate, it is going to follow through. Okay, now with this, I'm just going to kind of go back for those who watched the previous video where I created the cam and just show that this cam is in fact following the path that I expected to do. So I'm going to set it up just so that initially we are starting right where we want to. I'm going to create a mate to get it in that location. I'm going to go ahead and suppress it for the time being. And then I'm going to go ahead and create a motion study for this. And within my motion study, I am going to go ahead and add a motor to my part. We'll have other videos specifically on doing things like this, but with this I'm going to select a motor for my piece, and I'm going to create the motor such that it is rotating the cam around the central axis right here. And you see that that automatically selected when I selected the inside of that cylinder. And I'm going to go ahead and set it to 5 RPM just because we had 12 sections in that original video. So if I set it to 5 RPM and 12 seconds, I'm going to get a perfect reading here. I go ahead and run my calculate, and you can physically see that my follower is moving with my cam. Depending upon the version you're using, you might have to switch between animation or motion study or there's a third option that I'm blanking on, right? Basic motion. There it is. In order to make sure that you get exactly the movement you're looking for. But again, that's another topic. So with this, I'm also going to go in and I want to go ahead and plot. So I created creating a chart here, and I'm going to create that chart such that I am going to look at how much this top surface is moving as the cam goes around. So I'm looking at this linear displacement in the y-axis. You notice that y-axis is right there, and I'm going to select it for this top piece as far as how the movement of my overall piece goes. And I can go ahead and rerun this piece so that I can get that graph. And my motion study will output a graph that looks wonderful for me. This graph looks almost identical to the graph that we started with when we talked about creating our cam, other than these lines were sharper, like so. And the other thing that's happening here is our cam is actually running the opposite direction as I intended it to, just because of how I set up the motor. I just grabbed whatever the default was. I didn't really think about what direction I had my original piece going into. But you can see that my displacement all lines up. This is exactly how I set up my original cam to work. And it's come out exactly as we hoped. So great on us. Hopefully that was helpful. Take care.